Hey, what is up, everyone? Thank you so much for tuning in and welcome back to the Endo Channel. I am so excited to be here with all of you virtually and continuing to spread and breed compassion, hope, and light within our community and beyond. I am joined today with a very special guest. This is Manuela Castaneda. Thank you so much for being with us today.
No, thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here today and talk a little bit about all of the things that we've been learning about our condition and endometriosis and our journey. Really excited.
Absolutely. I am too. We're going to all learn some really great things today. I ask that you join in with an open heart and an open mind. If you have any questions for Manuela, please feel free to drop them below. I will be keeping an eye on them the best that I can as we are interviewing, and I would love for her to answer them here for you live after we go through our interview. If you would, please share this video to your timeline, maybe to a group that you have, so that way we can spread the love, the knowledge, because as we like to say, knowledge is power, awareness is key. So with that, let's jump right in. All right, so Manuela, you are true Endo fam, okay? So we all know that you are within our community, not only breeding hope, but you've walked this journey personally. So that is contributing to the movement of healing with Endo, you personally having walked it yourself. So I love that. I would love for you to shed some light on your story. When did you first get diagnosed with endometriosis?
Well, my diagnosis was in 2011.
Okay.
I was 21 years old at the time. But I started feeling my symptoms very early on. When I had my first period, I already started having really painful periods from the first one and on. But everyone kept telling me, like we normally hear, it's normal, that's what all women go through, blah, blah, blah. So it took me from my 13-year-old first period all the way to my 21st birthday, when I almost 22, when I finally got that diagnosis with my doctors. And it was as well, like the majority of us, and I know all of you that are watching can relate, it didn't happen with the first doctor. It was more like going back and forth, different doctors, trying to get the right person that could hear me, that was willing to actually work with me and understanding what was going on, so we could get finally that diagnosis. But it took a lot of time.
My gosh. And so how many surgeries have you had?
Well, I had one surgery. That was the one that was exploratory and where they found the lesions. And what they did was that after that, they just burned the lesions instead of taking them off, because in that time, that was what all of the doctors used to do.
Right.
So I have always been very, I mean, if I have to take medicine, I'll do it. But I try to stay away from medicines and all of these different drugs like NSAIDs and all of that, because I literally, since I was a kid, I just didn't like to take them. So my process began there. I was wondering, what else can I do if I don't want to go through surgery again, if I don't want to put myself through all of these drugs and medicines that make me feel in other places really bad. So what else can I do? That's where like my willingness and my really craving to know more started to grow. It was, I don't want to deal with this way that is the traditional way of doing stuff. And I did it for a long time, because before I got my diagnosis and after my diagnosis, I was put in pills for a long time. So I had to suffer all of the other different symptoms that, all of the other different or side effects that you might feel with this type of pills. And I just reached to that point where I'm done taking pills. I'm done not fighting and not finding something that really works with me. I'm going to try something else, something different that I haven't done before, because I've been doing the same over and over and over again, and I haven't had any different results, right? So what else am I not trying? And that's where this whole journey started.
That is so interesting to me. And I love that you stopped at surgery number one. And that's whenever, before you got any deeper, you stopped and you said, what can I be doing? Because I, and like so many others, that did not ignite until, multiple surgeries went down. And so I love the fact that, one, you had ablation. And for our audience that doesn't know, ablation, like she had mentioned, is where they burn the endo, right? They burn it off. And that is not the correct approach. That is not the gold standard treatment, if you will. Excision is when they go in and they cut it out. So for you to go under the knife for the very first time, exploratory surgery, and then to do the incorrect surgery, I just applaud you for stopping it right then and saying, I'm not going to do this anymore. They clearly don't know exactly how to treat this, so I'm going to take matters into my own hands. And I think that with stopping at one surgery, you really saved yourself from so much unnecessary suffering. So I'm just really excited to get into this more, because that was ignited with you early on, and you have solutions. It has worked for you personally, and you're working with other souls to save them from suffering. So awesome. Thank you for sharing your journey with us.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you and your husband, Gavin, y'all are the founders of With Endo, correct? And that's a Facebook group here on Facebook. So if you haven't joined her group, check it out. It's With Endo. But they founded an online wellness program, everyone. And as today's time, everything going on, online is where it's at. It is so amazing that you can touch so many souls through this platform. So this program that they both created, I want you to walk us through it. How did you go from, you kind of walked us through your journey and you were like, I've got to find something else that happened, or not happen, but to bring me back to life. How did it happen from there? What ignited you to be like, I have to share this with the masses? It worked for me, and now I want to share that. So how did the Ribbon Method, your online wellness program, become born?
Well, it was beautiful because it actually started the other way around. We were actually traveling. We were in Argentina. It was the first time we went together to that country, so we were super excited to do and see as much as we could.
Mm-hmm.
And we.
Oh no, you froze. Hold on.
And yeah, I had a terrible flare up, and I was like, this is terrible. This is what is going on. I'm going to die. I'm going to die in another country. The amount of pain that I feel it, I didn't even associate it with a flare up. I thought that maybe in my crazy dreams, I don't know, I was pregnant and I was having an abortion, because the pain that I was feeling wasn't normal, and the amount of blood wasn't even normal for my regular endometriosis. So we had to cancel the trip. We had to just stay in bed. Gavin stood with me by my side. He was really worried because that was the first time he got to see me in my biggest flare up. And he was like, is this really how it is every month? And I was like, it could be every month or every week or every 15 days. I don't know. It happens so sporadically that I have no control over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought. And then
a lot of us do.
Yeah. And then I started talking with him about the condition, because he didn't know anything about endometriosis. And Gavin was a person that was very, how do you say, like scared, or he wasn't very, very comfortable talking about female issues, right? So blood was taboo. I mean, and the periods were taboo, menstruation is taboo, all of these things. And he would never even talk about that with his past relationships, for example. And he would always say like, oh no, I don't really like that. And then now he had to learn it. And I was excited, but I was also very afraid of what I'm feeling. So it was like a roller coaster of emotions, because here he was learning a little bit about my condition and trying to be supportive, even though he didn't know. I mean, at the time he didn't know anything. He didn't know anything about endometriosis, about why it happened, or what were the symptoms. Mm-hmm. So when I was going through that pain, I started thinking, how is it possible that women or me in this case, because I was just thinking about myself in that moment, how can I be feeling this? And there is no way of telling when it's going to happen, and there is no way of curing it, for example, or there is no way of treating this. And then it clicked, it was just not me. I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of women suffering from the same thing, and no one is doing anything about it. No one is actually looking for different solutions. So Gavin and I, and Gavin being the um, amazing head that he is, he can think of all of these ideas. He was like, why don't you do it then? We keep complaining that there is no one there to do these things that we need. But are we going to keep complaining, or we're going to do something about it?
Love
So
it.
it just started. That's when we both realized that it was bigger than us. It was bigger than me as Manu. I have endometriosis. It was bigger than any of that. It was just educating all of these women. That's what we needed, because throughout that realization that we had and starting reading a lot of things, Gavin started reading about how to behave or how to be with your partner who has endometriosis. What are the things that you can do to help her? And then we started thinking, what if we share this with all of the rest of the people who are willing to listen? That would be great. I mean, we can save people from years and years of doing stuff that are even more harmful for their bodies and their minds, and then just focus on the good things and the stuff that you can do right now.
Yes.
um, and that's where the process started. So we decided that we were going to help. We didn't know really how we were going to help. It was just, yeah, we were just starting to plan that, and then we said, there is nothing else to think, let's just move into that. And something that we did is we actually we were planning on, well, getting like married in a big wedding. And then we started thinking, what if we use the money that we have for our wedding for, in order to create something that really works for women, and that it makes them excited to be around this program or course or whatever that we're going to create. And that's basically what we did. So
You're kidding. Oh my,
yeah, we
I love that. Oh,
yeah. It was
that's
something that,
amazing.
like, a calling of for from both of us. And he was super supportive. He was always, yeah, we need to do this, it's not only you. And then sometimes, because of course we have also our downsides, he always reminds me of that, is this is the why, this is what we are doing. So remember, sometimes it gets harder, and sometimes I don't have enough energy. That can happen once every so often, it can happen. And then
Mhm.
it's always, remember why we're doing this, don't despair. I mean, just take a moment for yourself. If you need that moment, take it, make it fully yours, and then let go of it. Go
Mm.
back to your normal regular self and do what you need to do. And
Yes.
yeah, it's beautiful.
That is beautiful. What a story. Oh my gosh. Well, we're sending lots of love to Gavin. He sounds like an amazing supporter, not only for you, but for millions of souls out there. That is incredible. I love, love, love y'all's love story. So, how would you say walking this journey together, how has it healed you, being able to have him as that support system? And as endo supporters, all of you out there, you know it is not easy to stand boldly in that role. So maybe speak for Gavin. I'm sure y'all have had this conversation, but for him too, doing this, uniting together, saying we're gonna do this. How has that sparked true healing for both of you guys as individuals and as a couple?
Well, like I said before, it started from zero. He didn't know anything.
Right.
So it was a huge change the way he sees everything now. He said to me, like, I didn't see, I mean, the period that women go through, like menses, is like, I didn't see it or realize how hard it is on women's bodies in
Mm-hmm.
general. And now he said to me, I feel a little bit more empathetic toward women that go through all of this. So he said, I wish I knew, for example, my sister, that my sister was having PCOS issues, and how that affected her. I wish I knew that, so I could be there to support her or to understand. So now everything has changed around that, but it has also bring us together. I mean, now we face this unity, which is, I mean, we work together, we live together, we sleep together, everything we do is together. And that has also, I mean, we had to develop channels of communications, different channels of communications as well, and like separating what is our normal like couple time as Manu and Gavin, the couple, the partner, the husband and wife, and Manu and Gavin, the business person, the people that are working with other people to help them surpass anything that they want to. And is, I think it's a balance. And for us, what has helped a lot is having communication, really open communication. And for that, we choose time. So we said, okay, we need to have, let's say, a meeting about work, and that meeting about work is only about work, but then we're also going to have times where we are not, literally not doing anything, not on our phones, not on the TV, not on any other things, or reading, just the two of us sitting down and having conversations about anything in life, right? That's how we start developing those communication channels, to be able to talk about all of these things. Because something that we realized as well is that throughout the whole research that we have done and speaking with different specialists and trying to understand endometriosis as the entity that it is that a lot of us women that suffer with endometriosis, we have had several or some periods of our lives where we had traumatic experiences. And these traumatic experiences can mold or create or make us more prone to suffer from endometriosis because of several reactions that are created throughout the body. So that for me was, wow, incredible. It opened up my mind, and I was like, okay, so if these traumatic experiences can make me more prone to suffer from something, if I keep having this negative energy in my life coming from negative people, coming from negative environments, my illness is going to be even worse, right? It's going to be even harder for me to carry it around if I don't have the right support system, and it's going to make me go in a deeper hole.
Right.
So what do I need to do? It's also, it comes from us, and it's also seeing that endometriosis, yeah, we have it, but it doesn't have us. Endo is not the thing that can control the way we are, the way we live, because yeah, it's a condition, it's something that is part. So hello,
There it is. It
oh,
paused.
sorry.
No, it's not you.
I thought it was
Fine.
internet.
So, okay, well, let's dive into the ribbon method, because you're kind of going into how it is y'all created it. So the ribbon method is an online wellness program, and you have designed it to cater to each unique case. As you mentioned, trauma can be a huge trigger for an individual's case. So let's talk about that. How is it set up? How did you uniquely design it to cater to each soul's case? Because you're searching for triggers and for maybe past traumas that haven't been processed, correct?
Absolutely. We're looking for triggers. We're looking, I mean, and in triggers, we have a huge amount of things that we can use. Like I said before, the way you relate to others, the way you relate to yourself, it's also a huge trigger, the way you see yourself. Also, the other thing that we have to take into account, that a lot of people, and for me at the beginning, I didn't really believe this, but diet is so important. And
It
I
truly
was,
is.
yeah, and I was one of those who used to say, nah, how can you even think about healing something just by food or eating right? No, that is not right, that is people lying, blah blah blah. And the only way that what I truly understood that yeah, it's real, how food can affect or benefit our body, is when I started doing it. So like, I urge everyone who is seeing us, who is watching us, who is listening to us, please, women with endometriosis, check your gluten intake. I beg of you, because gluten is definitely and for sure our biggest enemy. It's super inflammatory, so we need to stop there. So that's why I wanted to say that diet is huge. Exercise is also something that we need to take into account, that sometimes we let go of because we're feeling a lot of pain. But we need to remember, exercise doesn't have to be sweating in a gym for 3 hours.
Right.
Not necessarily. We have to look for the things that actually work for us, which is exactly what the program does as well. The program is there to see what are the things that are lacking in your life that can make you feel better. And it comes with diet, it comes your mindset as well. It's a huge thing that we need to tackle on and see where you are, where you're seeing yourself, your surroundings, the things that are happening around you. We also do something that is called I forgot. um, rapid transformation therapy. I forgot the name. Yeah,
Okay.
which is one session with one of our experts that is called Laura Leah, and what she does is she starts talking to you, creates a sort of regression to see what are those past traumas that are still holding you back, things that we might need to let go of in order to move forward. Because the way we see endometriosis is as a systemic illness, which means that it not only affects our reproductive system, but also some other systems that we have. That's why a lot of us suffer from irritable bowel movement, or we have a lot of migraines, or I mean, we get too dizzy sometimes. All of these things, our fatigue, for example, all of these are linked to multiple systems in our bodies that are being connected by hormones. The hormones are the ones that are giving those signals to every single part of your body. So if they are crazy, your body is never going to be in a balanced state. And that's what we're trying to achieve. That's what we're aiming with the program. That's what the ribbon method is trying to do. It's just bring everything in a balance, not only your body, your hormones, but also your mindset, the way you see life, the way you live your life. And it's changing everything. Like it all comes into a new lifestyle that we are creating for each one of the women and the souls that are coming into our program.
That is amazing. I want you to touch more on how, if someone was new and they're like, okay, this sounds great, but, is it a community? Is it one-on-one? Is it just a few days and then I'm on my own? What type of support do they have during, after? Can you touch more on that?
Absolutely. So we have an 8-week program that is educational, which means that you're going to have some videos that are pre-recorded with all of the information that we should know about endometriosis. After this, we're going to have a weekly masterclass with each one of our experts, where we're going to be able to ask them every single question that we have about that week that we just saw. Apart from that, we're going to have one-on-one coaching sessions with our coaches that are working with us, just to work a little bit on those things that are lacking a little bit, anything that specific person needs, right? We also have a program for eating better. So this program is going to be created based on whatever needs this person has. So if, for example, because I mean, we can't say, and we don't dare to say, use this specific diet for you, that is the endo diet, and this will work for you. Why? Because our bodies are completely different, right?
Correct.
What works for me may not work for you, and what maybe ease my pain may trigger yours even 3,000 more times, right?
Right.
So what we do is we also tailored a eating program for the women that is going through the ribbon method. So she can know exactly what to purchase, how to cook it, how much you're going to need for a month, how much you're going to need for a week, how much you're going to see, all of these things that we need to make our life easier. Why? Because we are going to make a lot of changes.
Correct. So y'all are creating their lifestyle hand in hand, walking them through how to do that, what it looks like, and setting them up for success.
Absolutely. The idea is that once they have completed the whole 8 weeks educational program, they are going to decide if they want to work with us, because what we are aiming to do also is create little mini experts all over the place, so they can use this knowledge that they gain with the ribbon method and replicate it in their communities, with the women that are closer to them, in their family members, their workplaces, everywhere that they can just become this awareness creator in your own space that you live in.
I
So we
love
can,
that.
so we can start changing it. And if you see someone, because part of this experience also started by talking with my best friends. I've known them
Mhm.
forever, and then just like 2 years 3 years ago, we sat down and started talking about periods, and I told them about my endo and my symptoms, and they were like, I have something similar, I think. I mean, these are my symptoms. They went and got checked, and of course they had endo. 10
Mhm.
years we've been friends and we never spoke about our periods. How is that
Wow.
possible?
It happens more often than we think. I mean, absolutely. And I feel crazy sometimes because when I'm talking to other women and they start, speaking about their monthly cycle and issues, I'm like, I don't want to just say, oh, I think you have endo to everyone, but so many souls, I'm like, wow, that's not normal. That's not
Exactly.
normal. So yeah.
Exactly. And that's what we need to start saying. I mean, because I remember, and I know you can relate to this as well, Brittany, when you said it the first time, what was the answer you got?
Whenever, say that again.
Whenever you first felt the endometriosis, whenever you first felt the pain of endometriosis, what was the first thing that people told you?
That it was normal, that's this is period pain, this is menstrual cramps. Some people handle it better than others.
And it's part of being a woman.
Yes, part of it. Yep,
So
part of
in
the journey.
yes, in my case, for example, when I started doing this process for myself, I realized that part of my endometriosis was also here because not because it was why do I have to suffer from this, but because I always thought, because of what I heard, and that female women we need to feel pain all the time. I
Mhm.
felt that women, we were weak. We were like created just to feel pain. We
Yeah,
were So my endo was here to show me how I'm not weak, because if I were
that's
weak,
right.
I wouldn't get out of bed after my flare-ups. So she
That's
was like,
right.
oh, you think that you're weak, you think that women are weak, take this and tell me that you're weak.
That's right. We're anything but weak.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I
Yeah.
think that part of reframing that endometriosis and understanding what is it that she wants from you, because for me, she's a she, endo is a she. So what she wants from you? What is that she's here to teach you? For me, in my
Yes.
personal case, was that we are super strong, that we are that we care so much for others. We're so caring. We are so able to create change. We are agents of change once we decide to work together. That's what we are. And for
Yeah.
me, it changed completely the way I see my endometriosis. I understand now why, for example, I wasn't able to have kids when I was younger, which was something that I would always get angry about. And now I can say thank you, because that wasn't the time, because that wasn't the right person, because that wasn't what I needed in that moment, right? It's starting also to reframe a little bit our endo, to come out of that why me, why life or God or whatever we believe in,
Mhm.
why me? And maybe,
That victim
okay,
mentality. Yeah.
exactly. And maybe now it's okay, you're here now, tell me, I'm listening.
Mhm.
What is that you want to teach me?
Yes. And I love that you're touching on that because that's where it is. I mean, our bodies are incredible and they're trying to speak to us, especially when it comes down to those deep rooted issues. Our bodies are communicating with us every single day. And especially whenever those triggers or whenever we do get flare ups, that's the time to become alive. That's the time to not shut down, but to be hyper aware of everything. What did I eat over the last week? What has my environment been like? Did I just have a fight with someone or XYZ? I mean, go down the line, start being so passionately mindful of everything. And then you will start to see the pattern, what it is, like you're saying, what it is your body is trying to tell you. And then from there, you can show up, you can rise up, you can make those necessary changes and show up for you daily. And I think that's where a lot of souls fall weak or fall, fail, if you will, because it's a commitment. It is a daily commitment to ourselves and to our bodies and to our souls to rise up in those occasions. And knowledge is power, and it all starts there, because before learning all of this, my whole journey, like, it was self-taught. Like, I had to walk through it and I had to learn it for myself. And once doing that, my whole world changed little by little to where I'm standing here pain-free. And speaking of, how are you? Are you pain-free after walking through all of this?
Absolutely. I mean,
Love it.
I've been having ghost periods. I like to call them that, because I don't feel that they're coming, and they come as a surprise. I mean, although I always track my period and I know when they are kind of coming, it's a surprise because I don't get excruciating pain anymore. So
Wow.
for me, it's like, oh, wow, my period is here and I am outside, I'm walking, I'm buying stuff. I don't feel I have to be in bed. My PMS, for example, it was completely linked to the amount of sugar I was eating. And that was also something hard. And it's a quick win for anyone who is watching us. If you want to know a quick win with when you have endometriosis, is please try to stop your sugar intake, or not try, just stop it, because sugar is so bad for our bodies. It creates inflammation. It blows you up. It creates even more pain when you're feeling pain, and it's a crazy cycle. And the worst part is that your fatigue symptoms, the fatigue that we all feel, are completely linked to the amount of sugar that we are eating. We teach also, that is part of the things that we teach in the program, because we believe it's so important that everyone understands that sugar is delicious. Yeah, there are things that so yummy and all of that, but in reality, it's not helping us. And when we crave sugar, we go for it, we eat it, and then 5 minutes after that, we feel 10 times worse than we felt before we ate that. If you don't believe me, try to do it yourselves. Try to stay away from sugar. I don't know, a week. I know it's a little bit hard, but we can do it. I mean, I used to drink 2 liters of Coca-Cola, and now I'm not eating sugar. So I think
You're kidding. Wow. Good for you. And I bet you saw a huge difference immediately.
immediately.
Wow.
Immediately.
And those are things that can be done now outside of the medical field. You don't need an appointment. You don't have to stress yourself out of, how am I going to pay for this? You're actually going to be saving money.
Yes.
But yeah, there's things that can be done now to seek out relief. So
Absolutely.
tell me, what souls are you working with within the ribbon method? Are you only working with people that have been diagnosed, that think they may have endo? Who are welcomed?
Well, everyone is welcome. It's welcome. If you think you have endometriosis but you haven't been diagnosed, you are welcome to the group. If you have a diagnosis as well, you are welcome to the group and to the program. Why? Because what we want is to avoid people to going through what we have already gone through, right? If I knew the things that I know right now, I probably wouldn't even have to go through my first laparoscopy and only laparoscopy, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, we truly can self-heal ourselves. We can really come back to that balanced state, which is what our bodies need. Because we are right now, everything is like this. We have hormones on the side. We have, like the reproductive hormones on the side. We have our sleeping hormones on the other side, our stress hormones on the other side. And it's all crazy. We need to put them on balance. So for that, I don't care if you're diagnosed or not, all of this is going to work for you, because we don't use medicine. We don't use any of those treatments that are like the regular or medicine use. What we use is just food to heal. We use food to heal. We use your own mindset to heal your body. What we do is we also create communication between people, because like you said earlier, what we have seen is that women, yeah, it's easy to start. Okay, I'm going to start my diet today. But then tomorrow it becomes really hard and I have a lot of pain and I'm feeling bad and I'm feeling really, really, really down. So I'm going to have this piece of chocolate cake to make myself feel better. And that's where the diet is. We need accountability. And that is something that I realized going through this process myself. I started these diets and I tried to do all of what the book said for a long time. And I couldn't do it on my own. I needed someone there to tell me, you have to do this, and this is how we're doing it. And if you failed, it's fine, but let's go back and you tell me how it made you feel.
Yeah. Yeah. After you start clearing your body out of all the toxins that you have been putting in, once you do have that splurge, if you will, it's so noticeable. It really is. But if you just jump right back on the wagon, you'll be okay. But yeah, you start to realize you can live without cake and you can live without this and that, because you're better, you feel alive. It's worth it.
Yeah, that's true. And when you start feeling that, I mean, before going through this process, I could never believe that I could achieve or do multiple tasks in a day. Like for me, my life was, I choose either if I go shopping for groceries or if I stay at home working. I couldn't do both. I couldn't choose, for example, in the morning I go buy groceries, in the afternoon I work, because by the time I went back from groceries, I was done. My spoons were all gone.
Yep.
And now I have infinite amount of spoons. It's crazy. And I never in my wildest dreams believed that that could happen. That is true. I was always believing that this was what we had to live with, and that I would always have to live with 12 spoons every day, which I have to separate and use however or the most intelligent way I could.
Right.
Now it's completely different. And now that I am in this place, being able to do all of the things that I'm doing, I don't want to go back there. So my gummies and my Coca-Cola and my cake are not appealing anymore.
That's fantastic. And so would you say it took you, what, 2 weeks? I mean, because they say it takes about 21 days to form a habit and about 90 days to form that lifestyle. So for you personally, would you say about 2 weeks before the craving stopped? I mean, because once you put, that kind of helps some people maybe, because they're just like, I can't do this, because they're thinking of lifetime, but get down into just let's form this habit. And then once you achieve that goal, then let's go for the lifestyle, but yeah, for you personally, was it about 2 weeks?
Brittany, I lost you. Hey.
Oh, hey.
Sorry.
No worries. So for you personally, would you say it was about 2 weeks whenever you started to feel the change, and you weren't being pulled and drawn to what once had a hold on you?
Yes, absolutely. I remember the worst for me was my first week. And it's normal. I mean, because you are detoxing as well. So all of these things are coming out of your body, out of your liver, which probably is clogged and maybe a little bit greasy because of the amount of unhealthy things that we normally eat, because we don't know this, right? That's why we are doing this, is because we need to learn. And I mean, this needs to be done. So once all of that comes out of your body, it's way simpler. But that part of getting rid of the excess that you have in your body can create a little bit of, not a little bit, you can get moody and yeah, like you have a lot of cravings in the first week. Of course, you're used to it. And that's the thing. You have to, we have a saying in Spanish is desaprender, which means to forget what you already know and learn something new, right? That's how we build good habits as well. So we need to let go of what we already knew and what we learned in the past and what is not working for us, to make room for the new things that we're going to learn that are going to be good for us. So in this case, a week And then after, when I started my second week, the cravings were like, they started to diminish. And then by the third week, I was feeling perfect. Didn't really, I tried a Coca-Cola. That was my biggest, like, and it tasted so sweet. I couldn't, it was like like if I was drinking a syrup, like if I was putting syrup in my mouth.
Isn't
And
that eye-opening?
yes, it's
Which,
unbelievable.
yeah, wow. So I want to jump into the program a little bit more on the cost side. So I read that the ribbon method doesn't fall under two categories, right? It doesn't fall under the two main, surgery and medication. Therefore, insurance is not accepted. So once souls come to you and they find out, that there is cost related to your services, if you do you ever run into negative feedback, and if so, how do you combat that? Because I believe in what you're doing 100%, but for any questioning souls out there, what would you say?
Well, I mean, we have that a lot, and a lot of skepticism. We have had a lot of people that are angry at the program that we present, and mainly because of what you say, the price. Because, I mean, we come from a place of pain, right? And I understand that. I understand, and I see them as I was a couple of years ago, right?
You have compassion for them, sure.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
understand where they're coming from and how they don't want to get ripped off, because there's also a lot of people promising cures and promising a lot of things that are not real, a lot of quick fixes like take this pill and you'll be fine. And what also the pharmaceutical companies are doing, which is just a lot of them playing with the health of the women around the world. So I understand where they're coming from, but for me, the way I see it is, I understand that you are frustrated for your pain, but we need to understand that for us it cost us a lot to build this program, right? It costs us in the sense of money, right? But also we took a lot of time, and we're still spending a lot of time, which is what women need. I found out it's not, like I said earlier, it's not about the book or the diet or anything like that. It's also who is there supporting you and making you accountable of this process, right? The accountability is the number one thing that we need to have. Why? Because it's very easy to quit, because we are overwhelmed the majority of time, because we are in high stress the majority of time. Our body is in high stress because of the amount of pain we're feeling, because of the cortisol levels and a bunch of other things that we will learn in the program. So we need also that accountability. And I think that that is part of what makes the ribbon method so important, is that you're always going to find someone there that is willing to help you, whether it's our experts, whether it's me, or it could be also the coaches that are there 24/7 for the women that are going through the program.
I love that. 24/7. I mean, that you're right. I mean, it's easy to sell someone a program or a lifestyle and say, here, I've written it all down for you, go do it. But to have that 24/7 support, to have experts backing you, to have the community, gathering around you on your hard days, and then you gathering around that other soul that needs it too, that's fuel for everyone, and that's how you succeed. I love that.
Exactly. So that all goes into what we spoke about earlier, the cost. It's all like into that. What we want is, because like I said earlier, we spent loads of money, our wedding, in building this program. And it's because we wanted to have the best people, the people that are willing to listen, the people that are willing to do something for you, that are really looking for you, that want really that you are okay. And I said, since day one, I want quality. I want people that are really, really going to give everything for every single person that comes and join our program. And that's what we have. So we want to work with the best people. And yeah, it has a cost.
Sure. So how would you describe, and after, hearing you talk and just kind of being mindful of, what it is you're putting out there, I could probably answer this question for you, but for the people that may not know or are wondering, what would be your ideal client?
My ideal client definitely will be someone that wants to take action right now.
Mhm.
Like I said earlier, I don't care if you have a diagnosis or not. If you're feeling that something is not working in your body and you feel like it's something related to reproductive system or endometriosis, you're welcome to work with us. I want a
Mhm.
person that looks forward to do stuff, that has that will of starting right away, that is committed, and that is not afraid to ask the questions whenever they have questions to ask, because that's the
Yes.
main thing. We are sometimes so afraid of asking just because we don't want to seem something or another. And if
Mhm.
you have a question, that's the best thing you can do. Ask.
Yep.
Always ask, because there is nothing you can lose from there. But
Right.
if you don't ask, you're always going to have that. And that's what we want. We want inquisitive people that are willing to start right away.
And man, this is just, I feel for any soul too, I mean, whether your journey just began like yours did before walking into another surgery, making and creating that change, or someone that has, 5, 6, 10 surgeries in deep. I mean, enough is enough, right? I mean, you're understanding that going back under the knife is not doing it. It is only giving you short-term relief. So why not? Why not try something that is going to absolutely change your lifestyle, change your world around you? We're willing to go under the knife so many times, but some people are just not there yet. I don't feel, to say, well, I'm going to try this avenue. So I encourage everyone here to at least check out the ribbon method, get some more information on it. Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
But I absolutely love what you're doing, and I'm really excited that we connected and we're
Mm,
to talk about this some more. So
yeah.
I would love for you to share with us if you have a client testimony that stands out to you, and if you're able to share a little bit of detail, that would be wonderful.
Well, right now, what we are doing is we are working or trying to find certain women that are um, going through, that want to go through the educational part, which
Mhm.
is something that for us was huge. We want to propel that. And in order to do that, we are talking to different women around United States, trying to find the right people that want to go through this program, and to explore a little bit more and to express what they feel about it. Because the reality is that, I mean, the people that have gone through it or that have seen it, for example, the experts, they say that it's very complete, that we have all of these things that are perfect, but or that are the things that women with endo need. But
Mhm.
we truly haven't put anyone as a soul through the program, because we want first to make this able for other people that are willing to go just through the educational content. We want to have it as is so clear for every single woman that goes through it, that it can be reproduced and, yeah, sent to every single one of the women that
Mhm.
are willing to go through it. So
Got
for
it.
now, yeah, so for now we are just building that. And like we spoke earlier, going against that skepticism has been really, really hard for us.
Mhm.
And I mean, it's not only me. I've spoken with multiple other women that are working with endometriosis and giving a different approach to the condition and trying to heal it in a different way or seeing it in a different way. And what we encounter is that a lot of skepticism. It's hard for women to trust, but that's what we are asking right now. Trust that something else can be done, because we've been
Exactly.
doing the same for years and years and years and on end, and we have no different results.
Right.
So this is what we are asking, and it's also creating the awareness not only on endometriosis, but also on the ways, on the things that we can do to self-heal, to make our bodies get to that balance state, to make us get to that point where we are able to say, okay, I feel I have consistent amount of energy. I feel that I don't have to worry about my jeans not fitting today because I have a huge endobelly, because I'm bloated, because of who knows what. Now
Right.
you know. And like you said from the beginning, Brittany, knowledge is power.
That's right. That's right. And what about this? Because I was just thinking earlier, you mentioned so once they go through the educational program and say they walk through the whole ribbon method, they come out with a whole new lifestyle, a whole new life. At that point, you know, I would think that they would want to take you up on the offer of spreading the knowledge to their people. So you've created another avenue, possibly, yes, for them to make money. Is that correct? Would they be making money, you know, or are they just simply sharing the knowledge? You
They
know,
could share the knowledge. And another thing that we are also looking forward, and this is the thing that makes me the most proud, is we want these people that go through the program to come back and work with us.
I love that. I love that. And yes, because that's creating revenue for them, for, you know, for their family, and more importantly, off of their passion. Whenever we stand boldly in what we're passionate about, you know, it just makes life so much easier and worthwhile. You know, whenever you know that you're doing something to just, I don't know, feel that space in your soul that you just feel led, you know? So I love that that option is there. So for
Yeah.
and you know, let that drive you. If anything, you know, try it. You know, what do you have to lose? We're giving our money to pharmaceuticals and to surgeries, and anyway, I love what you're doing. I really do.
Thank you,
Um,
Brittany.
Tell me, what would a soul need to do to move forward if they are interested in one, getting more information, or just if they're like, oh, heck yes, I'm ready for change? What do they need to do?
Okay, if they want more information, they can visit our webpage, which is www.withendo.com and www.withendo.org. There, they're going to find a lot of information about the whole program, what we have offered, and it goes more in depth about all of the things that we are offering, about the experts that we're working with, and also they can find me on Instagram as with.endo, and they can send me an email as well if they need to. That is going to be at manu@withendo.com. Manu is spelled MANU. And that's where they can reach me. I mean, I'm super open to hear from people. And I mean, if you have any issues, if you want to know anything as well that I know that I have the knowledge about, please reach out. I'm here to just let you know everything, and all of the knowledge that I've been gathering throughout these years is for sharing. And that's one of the main things that I believe pushed me. Was I was believing that if we know something that works and that is true, we have the obligation. It's not even if we want to, we have the obligation to share it with the rest of the people that want to listen.
Yes, yes, and there's millions out there that need to hear. So thank you again for joining us, Manuela. It was an honor sitting down with you, and I wish nothing but the best for this new movement that you and Gavin have created. I know that once the word gets out more, that more souls are going to not only be free of suffering, but they're going to be helping others. And that is what it's about. That is why we rise up. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning into the Endo Channel. Stay tuned. Next week, I sit down with the co-author of Beating Endo, and it is going to be Doctor of Physical Therapy, Amy Stein. We sat down with Dr. Orbach back in October, and I'm super excited to speak with Doctor of Physical Therapy, Amy Stein, and how it is she's equipping her patients to rise above endo as well. So stay tuned for that. But until then, please know that you have always been equipped. You are enough, and we are the change. Speak it, believe it, live it. We'll see you next week. Bye.